Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We're here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name is John Ainsworth and today's guest is Monica Badiu. Monica is our in-house copywriting chief and copy coach. She specializes in sales copywriting for online course creators who want to produce copy that speaks to their ideal customer and generate conversion. She makes people so much money. Oh my God, it's so good. So today we're going to be talking about planning your email promotions for Q1, whether to send them, when to send them, what to say, common issues you might be facing, that kind of thing. And we did a Christmas edition of this where we went through what to say in your Christmas email promotions. And we got a message from somebody who said that after listening to the episode, she wrote her Christmas promotions and she made $12,000 extra that she wouldn't have made as a bonus for herself for Christmas, which just warms my heart. It's just so good. So pay close attention to this because maybe you're going to make yourself $12,000 this month extra as well. Before we get into discussing about the email promotions, I want to just give you an overview of our instant course sales program. I think the fact we've got Monica on here is going to be really helpful for that. You might not know that we have this program. I want to just give you kind of an update on how it all works. So Monica, could you talk us through what is the instant course sales program?
Oh, it's an awesome group of people. It's basically a private membership where we work with course creators who enjoy doing their own marketing, and we teach them how to grow their sales. They have fun one-on-one strategies with Josip to talk about their numbers. They have copy feedback and strategy from me. We have weekly Q&As, and we talk with people from all over the world. It's very inspiring, and we have course creators from many different fields. It's an awesome place to be and grow your business.
So the people get the strategy sessions, they get copy feedback, they get strategy feedback, troubleshooting their funnels, support from the rest of the community, other people who are also working on the same kind of things, like Slack group, weekly calls. I get I'm not in there all that much, but I go on the calls sometimes just for fun and just to kind of see how everybody's doing. And it's such a good vibe. Everybody's so happy about it. They're making so much more money. I went on recently and someone said, I won't say his name because I haven't checked with him if it's all right to share it, but he said, I've heard from other people. I saw all these other people who were making a bunch of money with their courses. And and I knew it was possible, but it never seemed to happen for me. And then he joined the program. And then month one, he had his best month ever. And then he had his best December ever. And he's just so happy. It's fabulous to see. And so what we're going to do today is we're pulling out a little bit of what we do with our coaching clients in Instant Course Sales Program. Oh, and by the way, in case you don't know, for Instant Course Sales Program, we don't charge any upfront fee. We only charge a percentage of the increase in revenue that people make. Like if you don't make more money, you don't pay us anything. So if you're interested in it, if you're curious about it, go to pimpyourfunnel.com. Fill in the form there. There's 10 or 12 questions and we'll create a free profit increase report for you. And we'll also figure out if you're a good fit. And if you're a good fit, we'll send you a link so you can book a call and we can have a chat about it. So let's crack on with the stuff about the email promotions. So why should people care about planning Q1 email promotions?
Well, Happy New Year and great to be here again. So one of the biggest things that we do with course creators who do their own marketing is that we teach them how to plan so they can hit their objectives for a long time. Because many people, and it's not just course creators, they kind of, hey, Black Friday is tomorrow, let me send an email. And that makes the whole marketing thing and getting results that actually have an impact on their business, that makes it all very complicated. So every quarter, we start to talk with people in our coaching groups. What is it that they're going to promote in the next few months? Now, in theory, that sounds easy. In practice, when you do it without having guidance or without having support, or you're kind of afraid about the email promotions, it can be very overwhelming. So the reason we're doing the planning in quarter one is that we have a plan we can follow throughout January, February, March. That would make it easy to know exactly what's coming in 1 week, 2 weeks from now. That kind of gives them a plan that breaks down the big objective of increasing sales by a specific amount in a specific amount of time.
All right, cool. So we know that we should be planning out the promotions for Q1. So what should course creators talk about in their promotions in Q1?
Okay, so there are plenty of topics to address in your email promotions, and some of them would be very specific to your specific audience and the solution that your course teaches. However, there are three big themes that most audiences will be aware of, especially at the beginning of the year. And those three are resolutions, the future, and finances.
Nice. Now, one of the things as you're listening to this that you need to understand is Monica is an absolute genius at this. Like this stuff here of like having a hook, having a reason why you're sending an email promotion is really, really, really important. Like it makes a massive difference to how well a promotion does. And it makes you feel more comfortable sending something. If all of your audience is thinking about their New Year's resolutions and like what they're going to do this year, how they're going to make sure they have the best year ever, but new year, all that kind of thing. And you send something that's connected to that, you can feel comfortable because they're already thinking about that thing. And so this is relevant to them. They feel good because they're like, oh, you understand me and you're writing about something that's relevant. And then secondly, if you know you've got this different hook, this different angle, a reason why you're sending these different promotions, maybe 1 January, 1 February, 1 March, then you can plan out, well, what are you going to write? It's not just, oh my God, a blank sheet of paper. What am I going to put in here? You've got somewhere to start from, and we've got a framework overall that we use in our promotions, but you've got to have some initial reason why you're writing about it to kind of make it easier to get started. Is that fair, Monica? Have I explained that well?
Yeah, you explained it very well. I would also add that making your promotions relatable to the context your audience is in helps you create valuable content. So it actually helps build a relationship with your audience. Even if they don't buy during this promotion, over time, if all of your promotions have this angle of here's what's happening now in your life, and I understand and I see you, you're basically mirroring the fears and the pains they might not be brave enough to talk about with other people. So you're basically becoming a partner in their own lives, in helping them achieve the transformations they desire, which is something that very few brands are doing. And also something that most people don't really understand about running email promotions that sell without making them very salesy.
All right, cool. So we know that we should have a plan of what to cover. We know we've got 3 main topics. We know that email promotions are a big deal and you can actually make them be useful content even to people who don't buy, which in most promotions is going to be like 99% of people won't buy in most promotions. So it's like we need to take that into account. We know that they can make us a lot of money, like Jamila, who made $12,000 in her promotion. So we also know there's 3 big themes: resolutions, future, and finances. So let's get more in detail in those. So as you're listening to this, you can understand, right, exactly what do I need to do with that? That's a bit maybe too vague at the moment. So let's start with resolutions. Can you give us more insights into that topic? Like, what does that mean? How might somebody use that?
Sure, I would love to. So resolutions is one of the most common topics you can address at the beginning of the year for most of your audiences. Sure, there are very specific audiences that find resolutions even more important. For instance, if you are in fitness or wellness or health, then your courses can actually help your audiences set very specific goals for the year to come. And specifically, the fitness industry and weight loss industry sees a peak in interest in the beginning of the year. So that's the context you're in. Now, second to that is understanding how you and your course can help your specific audience achieve their outcome. So let's say you have an audience who is interested in losing weight. How can you help them set a resolution for maybe Q1, for, the first 6 months of the year, or even for the entire year, for them to achieve their goal of losing weight? And there are plenty of subtopics to address, like, are you actually setting realistic resolution? Like, is it realistic to lose 30 pounds by December 2023? What's a better goal, a better resolution for them to set? How can you break that overwhelming goal that they have into smaller, more achievable goals that they can fulfill on their own and then with guidance from your course. So it goes into subtopics, and it can break specific themes into smaller emails. Let's call it that, because I'm talking about emails. So maybe your audience hates the idea of resolutions. Maybe they are just not the kind of audience that likes to plan things ahead. That's still a topic you can address under the theme of resolutions. You can just tell them, resolutions suck. Here's what you do instead. Or can you actually achieve your goal without setting the goals? Because that's what resolutions are. What do you expect 2023 will be like for you? And then you can go even into deeper things. You can have an audience that just doesn't believe in themselves. They have secret goals, secret desires that they don't communicate with others because they are afraid that's not something they can achieve. Or you can have an audience that is so perfectionist and so out of touch with reality that they set themselves up for failure by setting resolutions that are just impossible. So all those topics, all those ways into talking about resolutions can help you have a very kind of one-on-one communication with the person reading your email, which is going to make them feel heard, seen, and you're basically mirroring some of the deep fears that they have about themselves. And this positions you as the partner, someone who's actually interested in helping them overcome challenges so they can achieve the outcome. And in this process, your course becomes one of the solutions they can use to achieve the outcomes. So it's not about positioning your course as the only course, the only solution that's going to help them achieve the desired resolution. Just like kind of guiding them. Here are 10 different options you have to achieve this resolution. Not all of them are going to be right for you. Even my way is not going to be right for you. But I'm going to guide you and give you all the information, guidance, and support to make sure that you do get something out of reading this email, out of communicating with me. And you have to remember that talking about resolutions and helping them set a goal for the year to come is tapping into a very powerful emotion, which is the emotion of hope. So make your emails positive, talk about the future in a positive way, be very gentle, don't yell at your audience in your emails, just kind of guide them, sort of like you'd be talking to a parent who practices positive parenting.
All right, cool. So let me try and summarize this back and just check I've understood it all properly so that we can make sure everyone listening really gets this. So you need to look at who your audience is. Are they someone who likes setting resolutions? Are they planning resolutions already? Do they tend to set it for the year, for 3 months, for this month? Like, what are they like to be doing? Do they hate resolutions? Like, start with that, figure out who is your audience, and whatever that audience is, wherever they're at, that's kind of your starting point. Now, if it's health, it's pretty straightforward, right? It's like losing weight or exercising more. That's really common resolutions that people make. So I get that, right? So, and then within that, what might be, you talked about, you're going to talk through like what's some of the options for them. Like, how many emails would you send in this email promotion?
So usually our email promotions include 3 stages, 3 warm-up emails, which are all about value and connecting with the problem they're in right now, increasing awareness as of how that problem impacts their life, giving them a small solution. Then it's connecting the dots to the course. And this way we start I think we have 8 emails in the promo sequence, which leads them through, this is the course, this is how it helps, this is how or why it logically makes sense for you to try this solution or this framework. And then we go into the second part of the email promotion. So the last 4 emails, which are more scarcity and urgency and fear-based, and they tackle objections. So how is this going to work for me? If you procrastinate now, here's what's going to happen. Maybe they're just afraid of success. What if this actually works? What would that mean? So in total, we'd have like 11 emails, 3 warm-up, and then 8 promo. But you don't have to go for 11 emails. You don't have to make it as complicated.
If you do 3 emails instead of doing none, that's a lot better still, right? Isn't it?
Yes,
So
exactly. Exactly.
Cool. Okay. I'm trying to remember, did we cover this in a previous podcast episode? Because if we did, maybe we could point people to
Yes.
like the overall framework for it. All right. I'm going to search through and find the podcast episode where we talked about the email promotion structure. And I don't know. Yeah, we'll find that and I'll point you to the right episode number. Okay, fine. So we've got overall this plan. Now, what happens if somebody is not in the health space? What if they're in the, let's do a brainstorming, like classical guitar? You're teaching someone to learn classical guitar. How does resolutions fit in there?
I want to finally learn how to play classical guitar. What's a roadmap you can have for them? Because I don't think it's realistic to say you can learn how to play in 1 month, but maybe you can learn how to play in like 6 months. What are some thoughts your reader is going to have when they hear that promise?
Yeah.
And why do they want to have that resolution? Why would they want to play classical guitar? What's underneath that? Is it for like social status? Maybe they just want to have a new skill. Maybe they just want to relax because they have like a very stressful job. Maybe they just have a lot of time on their own and they want to do something else and play video games. Or maybe they just want to impress somebody. So all these angles, it's something you learn from your specific audience, because obviously I can't really tell you. I can only give you some ideas and open your mind to like new perspectives of how to address resolutions for your specific course. But everybody thinks about the future. Everybody makes resolutions in one way or another, even if they're not, let's say, completely aware of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And this is really common. Like January is a really good time for course sales because of this, because people are thinking about, right, I want to finally get around to doing that thing, learning to play the classical guitar, getting better at Google Ads, being a better parent, losing weight, whatever it is. It's because it's like, oh, it's a new year. It's like a fresh start. I can go again here. I don't have to think about whatever didn't work last year. Okay. Any more stuff on resolutions you think we should go through here?
Not right now, but I could talk for hours about
Okay, hopefully, if you're listening to this, you've got an idea there of, okay, I could write some emails about people's resolutions for the year, help them think how they're going to plan out what they're going to achieve this year, what's possible. Go back and listen to episode 12, where we cover more about the whole copywriting framework, and that's going to give you some more kind of structure for it. And then now we're going to cover the next topic that might spark some more ideas for you. So the next one is the future. So talk to me about that one.
Okay, so the first thing to understand is that it's like human nature to always think about the future. A lot of us are actually afraid of what the future holds, and we have different coping mechanisms to make sure that we have the illusion of being able to control the future. So it's both very simple to grasp, and at the same time, it's a very complex thing to grasp. Talking about the future, especially if, I don't know, maybe the national or the global context is negative, that can actually help your audience see some perspectives that they're missing right now. So, for instance, when COVID hit, everybody was obviously in shock. Some brands were able to kind of, okay, we are leaders in this industry. We have people who come to us for guidance and feedback. What is it that we need to do? We need to overcome our own fear and help guide these people who are in this specific problem. Then we had specific events like the war in Ukraine. Again, a part of the world was like in shock. Some brands were like, okay, here's what we can do. So that's the same thing with addressing the future for your specific audience. And it doesn't have to be negative. It can also be a positive thing. The idea is to help them prepare for what's coming. And the future can represent industry regulations. Maybe you are addressing an audience that is regulated by the government. And maybe in 2023, there is a specific law that comes in effect that they need to know of and prepare for. How does your course help them prepare for that? We have, for instance, someone in our group coaching program who's done amazingly, and he helps business owners and agencies figure out Google Shopping ads so they can have better, less costs on their ads and better results. So what's it called? Google Analytics for Universal
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing that everybody hates and finds not useful. Well, this specific audience, it's true. It's annoyingly unuseful for the majority of people who have been using Google Analytics, but that's just me.
Yeah, so
Someone who's
Universal is the old one. That's the one we've been using. And Google Analytics 4 is the one that everyone is not sure what to do with. Yeah.
and hates. Okay, rant over. So for this specific audience, this course creator, he can teach them how to use G4 to make the most of their campaigns, because at some point they're gonna completely retire if they haven't already Google Universal, which a lot of people have been using to keep track of campaign goals and events and things like that. Maybe there's, I don't know, some new job opportunities for your industry, and the skill you're teaching, that could be a major opportunity to increase the revenue. Or maybe your audience is in danger because of AI. So last year, because of Midjourney and other AIs like that, the whole art industry was, and design, digital design industry was like in shock. So what do we do now? Now it's copywriting who's like worried about it. So you can help prepare your audience for the future, address those big fears they have, or even the big hopes they have. Show them how those can be an opportunity, or show them how they can prepare themselves for what's coming. Then connect the dots to the solution you're offering.
Nice. All right, cool. So let's do a little brainstorm again and just choose one topic. What could it be if, so you kind of mentioned a couple as we went through there, but I want to pull one out in particular. Let's imagine that the area that you're in that you teach courses about is parenting. Is there something about the future that kind of fits with that?
Well, I know that in the US, I think 2 more states are legalizing consumption of cannabis for people aged over 21. That could be a problem for parents who have kids that age, since it's been like illegal there, but they're going to be curious, right? So you can teach them, how do you have the talk, even if it's like an adult child. You will still worry as a parent. You maybe it's even in the social context of, I know, I don't want to say gangs, but a social context that's difficult for parents to manage. How do you continue having that conversation, especially with this like kind of threat, and I'm using air quotes here, because if it's a state that has treated cannabis as illegal, then you have a lot of cultural and social stigma around the use of that. So how can you change that perspective? Another aspect that's always, always pertinent to parenting is like bullying. And how do you protect your kids from bullying in 2023? What are some new things that are coming? Or even how do you help kids navigate social media? What do they need to do to stay safe? What should they do to, I don't know, remove themselves from comparing their own life to like social influencers who very beautifully prepare their feeds and all of that? So there's like a lot of it specifically that can happen, but you need to know what is your audience interested in, what are they afraid of, and then how your course can help them. Like, what's the outcome your course is following? Because if you're teaching parents, I don't know, online safety for their kids, it doesn't really make sense to talk about 2 states in the US that are legalizing cannabis consumption for kids over 21. So you have to make it specific.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things I think that's really crucial there, and one of the things we do with all of our group coaching clients, is the customer avatar survey and creating the customer avatar. So it's starting out, and we're not going to cover that in this podcast episode, but one of the crucial things to do at the very beginning, before you do any other copywriting work, generally, don't feel like you can't write these emails because you haven't done this, but to do it properly, the way we always do is we work with our clients to help them to do a customer avatar survey. So a list of questions that you send out to your email list, you get the responses, you sort them in a certain way, you turn that into a customer avatar. You then have details of what are the biggest fears of my clients? What are they stressed about? What are they angry about? What are they afraid of? What's their biggest driver? What's causing them to want to get this course? The people who bought it, what do they like about it? All of this stuff. And then you pull that out to decide what topics you're going to cover. At the moment, you probably know your audience. So you use that. That's the insight that you use to decide which of these topics you're going to tap into. Okay, let's get on to the last topic then, finances. Talk to me about that. How can people use that? What's some of the areas people can look at?
Okay, so finances is again one of the topics that will usually be a lot of people's awareness. However, this specific year, because of recent economic uncertainties and everybody yelling, recession is coming, and prices increasing over a couple of specific factors, your audience might be particularly painfully aware about this. And you will find plenty of like research and studies. For instance, Statista has a study that says that saving money comes in at number 4 in the most common resolutions for 2023. So this is not something that you need to disregard. This is something that you actually need to pay attention to, not necessarily to be afraid of. So it's going to happen for you as a course creator, but it's also going to happen to your audience as a consumer. So how can you help your audience navigate what's coming? For some courses, it's going to be a lot easier, because if you're like teaching financial education, then that makes complete sense. You can make this a topic for 2023. But not all course creators are going to find it easy to address that. However, you can find the angle of what's something valuable for you to invest in 2023. Because look at this, prices have increased for blah, blah, blah. Everybody's talking about prices going up, and there's a lot of economic uncertainty. What is it that you can do as a parent? Because if prices continue to go up, where do you invest your time, your money? How can you protect your family? If you're a business owner, what does that mean for you? If you're running ads on Google, whatever, how can you better prepare your budget for the year to come? So you again start with those emails that provide value and address the topic from the context people are at right in. That makes the content relevant to your reader. That's why they're going to open the emails and want to read them. Then you connect the dots to the course you're offering. At some point, you can either address an email saying like, if there's one thing you should invest your money in 2023, make it this. And instead of pushing your course, you push the skill that your course is teaching. You can also even position it as maybe you have promotion for like a big bundle in January. You can position it as buy this bundle, and you're going to have a roadmap for achieving your outcome throughout the year. And that's actually going to save you more money in the long term because of factors 1, 2, 3 that are potentially going to increase prices or going to reduce the liberty of you spending down the line. It's very important to understand how your audience relates to this topic. And again, there's plenty of studies and research you can read. One specific thing that I've learned researching this topic in January this year is that, yes, most people say that consumer spending is going to be reduced, but especially on like everyday items, so not necessarily investing in courses. However, consumers are going to be more wary of what they're putting their money into. So if they're going to spend $200 on a course, they're going to spend more time researching other alternatives to make sure that the investment they're putting there is actually valuable, which means that as a course creator, you should definitely spend time increasing the value you offer. And you can do that through obviously bonuses, better communication of your benefits, having a money back guarantee, even using testimonials to show the value that your prospects could have with your solution.
All right, cool. So what we've got is you should be running email promotions in Q1. It's going to make you a whole bunch of money from your course sales. You need to plan out what are you going to cover? What's going to be your hook? What's your angle that you cover within each of those email promotions? It's going to make life much easier for you. So you're not just going, oh, I don't know what to write about. I've got a blank page. I'm not sure where to start. And you've got it planned in advance. You're not just like at the last minute trying to put something together. Use our framework. Ideally, you don't have to, but that's just like the simplest way. And it's the most effective system. If you go back to episode 12, you're going to hear about like what that framework is. 3 warm-up emails, gain logic, fear, gone. That's the kind of the crucial elements to it. There is more to it than that, but that's the crucial overall structure to it. When you're trying to decide what to include in those emails, you need to have some kind of a hook, an angle, and the three that make a lot of sense that you can just start with and run with are resolutions, the future, and finances. For each of them, you need to understand your audience. How does your audience relate to each of those topics? When you start to write about it, take that understanding, take that thing, the fact that they're already thinking about that thing, and use that as the structure for how you're going to help your audience, because most of them aren't going to buy from this email promotion, but you need to send them promotions to get the ones who are ready to buy. Give them useful content and follow the structure that we talked about from the email promotions in order to put stuff in there, and base it around that topic, around the finances or the resolutions or what have you. And if you need more data, then go Google it around, like, what is there around parenting, or Google Ads or classical guitar or whatever that's changing if you're looking at the future. Try and understand what are your audience's resolutions around that topic, that kind of thing. Use all of that, send the email promotion, actually do it, make yourself a bunch of money like Jamila did before, which is great. And then let us know. Message me, john@datadrivenmarketing.co. And if you want more help with this, if you're like, I could really do with some more support, actually putting this into practice, I want Monica to help me work through this myself, and you're interested in working with us, then go to pimpyourfunnel.com, fill in the report there. And if you're a good fit to work with us, then we'll send you an email so you can book in a call. You will be able to book that in. And if not, then you still will get a great report showing you exactly how much more money you can make from your course business. Any closing thoughts, Monica?
I only have like a quote from a book on positioning your product, which I think summarizes the whole strategy behind using context, the present context, to make the email promotions relevant. So this is from Positioning, that's the name of the book, and the author is Al Rice. Yeah. The mind as a defense against the volume of today's communications screens and rejects much of the information offered it. In general, the mind accepts only that which matches prior knowledge or experience. So, in other words, what's in it for them to actually open and read your email?
Yeah, but if they're already thinking about that thing, if it fits with what they're already thinking about, then they're more likely to want to then go on and read more about it. Yeah, perfect. Fabulous. Look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you all so much for listening. Really appreciate your time paying attention to going through this. We're so passionate about this, about helping course creators to actually make more money by improving their marketing. And it warms our hearts whenever people tell us that they've actually managed to go and implement this. If you found the interview useful and you want to get future episodes, subscribe wherever you listened, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Monica.
Bye.